Hello, my name is Dr. Fruitman. Welcome to ADHD channel. This segment is going to be dedicated to corporate success and ADHD. So let's start with what to do when you have an entry-level position in a corporation and you do have an ADHD diagnosis. For one, remember that it should not preclude you from being very successful at your job. Some of the most successful people in America actually do have ADHD, and their ability to problem solve, come up with original solutions, and be creative can be very richly rewarded. But first, we need to get out of that entry-level position, or at least survive it. So I would suggest following a few simple rules. One is, come to work early. In an environment where the work days are flexible and people are working more than 40 hours a week, it's important when you have ADHD to come to work early, or at least earlier than your boss. Let's say if your boss predictably comes at 9, make it by 8:50. People never know when exactly you leave, but for sure, people can be aware of when you're coming in. So being available and being on time is very important. And if you know you have a problem with time management, really plan to come even earlier than that, because let's say if your plan is to make it by 8 o'clock, you are likely to make it by 8:15 or 8:30, and that would be fine. The second one also has to do with time management. Never commit to when projects are going to be handed in unless you're absolutely required to. And if people ask you to give them timeline, be generous with yourself. A very typical ADHD response is to underestimate the amount of time and effort a given project is going to take. So give yourself at least 15 to 20% more time than what you think, because the problems are going to come along that you cannot anticipate, and it would be better not to overcommit to any particular timeline, or especially not to an earlier timeline than need be. The third one is actually, when you do commit to a timeline, make sure that you mentally and officially break up a project that is due into several segments and send regular updates as to your progress if you can. So let's just take an example of a building project. So you have to do drywall, tile, plumbing, and electric, and which is not something you would be expected to do for a corporation, but this is just an illustration. So in 2-week time, report 20% of drywall is laid, 80% of the tile is laid, 0% of plumbing is done, and 80% of electric is done, and the project is overall 30% complete. Send such updates with certain regularity so that if there are any delays, at least there's a track record of you actually being very diligently at work on that project. As an aside, breaking up the projects into easily manageable segments is important, because you're not only doing it for a report, you're doing it for yourself to keep track of your progress. This is Dr. Fruitman. We'll see you in the next video.